Hello and welcome to this yin yoga for your kidney meridian. This is the 5th class in the Rest and Reset series, which there is a playlist for. This is the penultimate class in the Rest and Reset series. Next week I will actually be away. I'll be across the country visiting my mom and my sisters and some girlfriends. So you'll have to wait one more week for the final class. For this class you're going to need a bolster, some blocks, and a blanket. And you're going to start resting back on your back just to center, to transition from your day-to-day life, and to move into the yin qualities of a yin yoga class. You're going to be here for 5 minutes. So as you settle in, just let yourself wiggle a little bit to discharge any excess energy. You can just wiggle on your back. And then let yourself, when it feels right, take as much time as you need to settle into stillness when you feel ready. Breathing in through your nose and letting it fall out of your mouth. And even though your physical body is settling into stillness, you can feel the movement of your breath through your body. And start to allow the physical tension of your body to yield to the support of the earth. Each breath out, you can let your bones, your muscles, your tissues sink down into gravity. Your kidneys are the essence of your energy body. So when you come into a practice like you are today, this yin yoga class for your kidney meridians, you're gathering all the energy that has been scattered out in many directions to come into your internal being to discover your true nature. So you can just take a moment to call back all the energy that's out there, that's been scattered out, to call it back to yourself. And when we practice yin yoga, we can call upon our breath, our intention, our visualization to gather and direct the flow of qi in our body. Okay, take a breath and just reflect on what you'd like to receive from this class today. Form an intention. You can start to wiggle and stretch out. Our first yin yoga posture is going to be child's pose, which if that's not good for your knees and ankles, you could take knees to chest pose. It's nice to put your feet against a wall because then you don't have to hold your knees into your chest the whole time. I'll also show a modification for knees here. Just generally having the bolster a little higher can be helpful for knees. So we're going to do wide knee child's pose just to get the meridians for the kidneys on the inside of the legs. So having the bolster a little higher can be nice. Taking the knees wide. You can also put a roll blanket between your knees and your calves. I think I'm not going to sacrifice the blanket underneath my legs on this rock. You're going to be in this pose for 5 minutes. Okay, in your child's pose, we want to focus on the first principle of yin, which is choosing an appropriate edge. Focusing on the middle way between comfort and challenge. When we choose an edge that's just challenging enough, we'll experience change. And with comfort, we experience ease. If we have too much challenge, we're going to feel broken and depleted and not good enough. But if we have too much comfort, then we're going to feel passive and complacent and fragile. Now, while we're focusing on the kidney meridian, this is water element. And it comes in winter, which is a big downtime. It's a time of rest, deep renewal. It's all about authentic healing and rejuvenation, honoring the softer edges that are being asked for at this time of year to nurture yourself. So as you're in this pose, really focus on breathing into your low back and your kidneys. Breathing into your low back and your kidneys. You're about halfway through this pose, so you might want to turn your head to the other side if you've got your head turned to one side. Okay, find a way out of your child's pose and we'll rest back to feel the rebound. And then from here, we're going to come and sit up. Going to do butterfly. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet together. You can have space between your heels and your groin. You want to feel sensation on the insides of our legs for your kidney meridian. You can take the space and fill it with the blocks here. And then you're going to sit up nice and tall and you're going to hinge forward. We're going to be in this pose for 5 minutes. So in your lower dantien, which means your lower belly, there is an accumulation of qi, like a deep, quiet pool of water in a flowing river. And there's a natural process of gathering energy that we can encourage to maintain health in your lower dantien, where you collect qi or energy like a reservoir. Your kidney energy contains your deepest source of nourishment. It's known as the minister of power. Your kidneys are regarded as your body's most important reservoir of essential energy. It's the original prenatal energy which forms the basis of life, and it's stored in your kidney organ energy system, which is why the kidneys are known as the root of life. And so it's a good idea here in this pose to continue to breathe. You could breathe into your lower belly, but it's a little compressed in the forward fold. So I think it's nice to continue to breathe into your lower back here. Okay, take a breath. You're going to come upright. When you come upright and feel your spine straight, take another breath. And then you're going to lie down and feel the flow of chi again. Then you're going to come back up. And we're going to do Dragonfly pose, which is Upavista Konasana, wide-legged seated forward fold. So you're going to take your legs wide, and it's a good idea to sit on a folded blanket so your pelvis will roll forward. And you're going to fold forward in the center. You're going to be here for 3 minutes. You want to feel sensation on the insides of your legs along your kidney meridian here. So your kidneys act as step-up transformers when our energy is low, working overtime when we are stressed, overcommitted, or continuing to push on even when we are exhausted. So it's really important that we learn to cultivate appropriate rhythms and live a life in balance. This is really essential for our energy because our kidneys were born with a certain amount of chi, and they're not a rechargeable battery. So they're a battery, and once they're drained, then our life force is drained, and that's the end of our life. So we want to keep these, we don't want to dip into these reserves. Okay, take a breath. You're going to come upright, and we're going to turn to the side over your left leg, and you're going to come forward over your left leg. You're going to be here for 3 minutes now. So your kidneys house your essence energy, known as your Jing Qi. This is the substance that pervades all of life. It's the essence of your growth and your decline. It's connected to your ancestry, and it's your inherited constitution. When you are conceived, your mother and your father, they give you a certain amount of chi that you inherit, and that's your life force that you're going to have for your entire life. And then as you live, you just start to use up that life force throughout your life until your eventual slow decline, as you move towards your own death. Okay, come upright. You're going to turn over your right leg and fold forward over your right leg. So in Yin Yoga, we want to be still. In water element season, in winter season, all of nature is still, like water when it's frozen, or like the depth of the ocean. And we're still because in Yin Yoga, we move chi into the bones and the deeper connective tissue. And if you keep moving, it stays at the surface level of the muscles. So in Yin Yoga, we encourage ourselves to let go of fidgeting, to resist the urge to fix or change the poses once we've settled in and found that appropriate edge, to release the constant need to intensify a pose. We have an addiction to intensity. There may come a time in your pose where you sort of sink more deeply into it, and that's a natural sinking, but notice if your propensity is to always continue to intensify it. And also notice an urge to escape sensation. So I just want to also offer a couple of modifications here as well. Okay, so caveats to the principle of stillness is honoring your nervous system. If your nervous system goes into activation and you have the need to flee, to move, then honor that. You can always pause the video, get up, move around, come back to it when the time feels right. There's no Yin Yoga police here. The other one is for neurodivergent people who have the need to fidget, to stim. You can potentially feel the movement of breath in your body, but if you have like a fidget tool that helps you release that excess energy, you could use that. You could feel the texture of your yoga mat, or maybe your blanket, or maybe your clothing. So just little ways that you could find your way, that just, there's ways to, we don't have to be slaves to these rules. We can feel the quality of the rule and also honor our own needs. Okay, let's come up and then fold forward in the center. This will be our final 3 minutes in this pose. So back in the center for the final 3 minutes. So you're getting your kidney meridian, and also on the back of your legs, you're getting your bladder meridian. So these poses allow us to rebuild our vital life force energy. And in water element season, in winter, it prepares us for the coming of spring and new life. In our culture, we're just in love with progress. So rest is often seen as something that's unnecessary at best or lazy at worst. But the more time we take to pause in our lives, the more we're filling our yin reserves, and the more we allow for energy and inspiration to build that life force within us and then to emerge from us in spring. Okay, come upright, take a breath. And they're going to rest back then. And feel the rebound. Come out of this slowly, even though we moved around in it a bit. You're in that for a total of 12 minutes. And you may want to feel the rebound with your knees bent because you were in that forward fold for so long. And then we're going to stay on our back and come into a reclined twist here. So if you have a bolster, it can be nice to place your bolster by your side. Let's place it on our left side to begin. And bend your right leg, keep your left leg long. Tuck your left hip under and bring your right knee over. And find that appropriate edge in your reclined twist. Going to be in this pose for 3 minutes. So soften into the pose, reflect on the way that water flows, allowing your body to be soft. Smooth your forehead. Let the skin on the back of your neck be soft and smooth. Let your tongue be soft. Let there be space between your teeth. Let your brain be soft. Release your fingers. And we'll stay for a while, coaxing the chi deeper into your body and organs. Letting time and gravity do all the work here. Take a breath. Come onto your back and feel the rebound. Then you can take your bolster over to your right side and you can come into your twist on the other side. So bend your left knee, extend your right leg, press into your left foot, tuck your right hip under, left leg goes over onto the bolster. You take a breath. Come back onto your back. And you can start to set yourself up for your final resting pose for Savasana. You can stay resting back here. I'm going to sit up and talk you through your Savasana, the poem, and some other closing out. So just a few final words about our kidney meridian. Extreme fatigue causes premature aging, brain fog, weight gain, and insomnia. So if we're always on the run, dependent on caffeine, have difficulty getting out of the bed in the morning, we crave sweet or salty food, we're weary or irritable, our kidney chi may be imbalanced. So this kind of yin yoga for our kidney meridians can support us in recharging our energy, in building our kidney chi, and honoring the daily, monthly, and yearly cycles of rest can also be really supportive. It's really helpful to reduce your stress. I mean, that almost sounds cliche, but look at that in your life. Look at ways that you can reduce the distress, not the eustress, the good stress, but the distress, and get lots of sleep and conserve your own energy reserves. I have a poem for you by James Cruz called Self-Care. Some days it feels like a foreign language I'm asked to practice, with new words for happiness, work, and love. I'm still learning how to say a cup of tea for no reason, what to call that extra honey I drizzle in, how to label the restless urge to do more and more as poison, and how to translate the heart's pounding message when it comes, enough, enough. This morning, I search for words to capture the glimmering sun as it lifts above the mountains, clouds already closing in, as fat droplets of rain darken the deck. I'm learning to call this stillness self-care too. Just standing here, watching the goldfinches scatter up from around the feeder like pieces of bright yellow stained glass, reassembling in the sheltering arms of a maple. Some days it feels like a foreign language I'm asked to practice, with new words for happiness, work, and love. I'm still learning how to say a cup of tea for no reason, what to call the extra honey I drizzle in, how to label the relentless urge to do more and more as poison, and how to translate the heart's pounding message when it comes, enough, enough. This morning I search for words to capture the glimmering sun as it lifts above the mountains, clouds already closing in, as fat droplets of rain darken the deck. I'm learning to call this stillness self-care too. Just standing here, watching goldfinches scatter up from around the feeder like pieces of bright yellow stained glass, reassembling in the sheltering arms of a maple. So as you're resting here, take a moment to reflect back on your experience of this class of Yin Yoga for your kidney meridian as part of the Rest and Reset series. And just notice what stands out to you. What seems most important? And just take that time to distill that little wisdom, that gem of wisdom to carry with you off your mat and into your life. And then you can slowly wiggle and stretch out. Start to deepen your breath. Start to bring movement back to your body. Bend your knees and roll to your side. And start to make your way up to seated. You know, I read all your comments and I respond to all your comments, and I really love when I read the comments that remind me of the poetry that we've read in the classes, that let me know that you've watched all the way to the end. It's like a little inner club, like, you know, when clubs have their little language or their little inner jokes or inner, the in club things. It feels like that to me. So how about if you've watched all the way to the end, you put, I'm drizzling honey in the comments, and we'll know. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're enjoying this series and you want to make sure you get the next one. Remember, our members get level 2. They're doing an in-depth of Yoga Nidra this month, which is amazing. And I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our Pacific Ocean. May you be as rooted as the old growth trees in our forest. And may you be as strong as our mountains.